Hello, guys. Hello. Good evening, guys. Welcome to my live. Let me see if I can go. There's two people here already. Hello. I'll be waiting for Bruce to come up, and then Omni is coming up. Let me do my intro. My name is Cheryl Grabowski, and welcome to my live. I am a content creator here on YouTube, and tonight I'm in the streaming app, and we're going to have a conversation. Again, myself and Bruce and Omni will be discussing toxic masculinity. Now, I told them they can get in there any kind of way. They can take it wherever they want to take it. But I'm just going to start the conversation off from where I want it to be. So there are three people here, and I don't know who's here. Can you guys comment so I could just see what's going on? Yeah, I can. Let me go to my YouTube page so I can see. Hello, guys. Welcome. I'm so excited for this conversation. I turn the volume off, and I'm waiting for Bruce. Okay, it's 8 people here, but nobody's saying anything. All right. Hold on, y'all. All right. Adjust my. All right. I'm waiting for Bruce. I don't want to. Oh, there y'all go. What's up, Ro? Hey, girl. Hey, ASMR. Um, the link is down there, guys. So if you want to come up, you can. Again, I'm waiting for Omni. I'm waiting for Bruce. 15 people here. I need you guys to like the video. Like it as soon as you come in, guys. Because we normally don't do the StreamYard. And I don't actually like the StreamYard. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me good? I'm waiting for Omni and I'm waiting for Bruce. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I got my other device right here, but I can see y'all right there too. So welcome to the live. So let me get me some drink. So what sparked this conversation was me and my son. We were having a conversation today, me and Omni. Some of you guys follow him on YouTube, and if you don't, then I want you to. And as soon as he come on, I'll have him to pin his information in the chat. And so we were having a conversation about masculinity. And so which masculinity is a good thing, you know, it's a good thing, but it can also be a negative thing. I don't want to, first of all, let me just say this. We are not a platform where we dominate and put men down. That is not what we're here to do. We have thousands of men subscribers on my channel. I just want to say that. And I just want to give everybody a fair chance, but I've got to be honest and you know, just honest about the toxic masculinity. There is also healthy masculinity, but we're going to deal with that later on. We want to deal with the toxic. So I'm still waiting on the men, and they running behind, and I don't know why, because I just talked to Bruce, and I don't know where he is. But hey, Missy Lou, how you doing, girl? And again, if you guys want to come up and have this conversation, it's going to be a clean conversation. There'll be no cursing for the most part, I don't think. Omni doesn't curse. And Bruce, we all do, but we just no need for that. So anyway, I'm still waiting. I don't know where they at. Y'all come on so we can get started. Y'all, please hit the like button on your way in. How many likes do we have? We got 6 likes, y'all. We got to do better than that. 21 people watching, 23. Can you like the video, please? And it's important that you like the video early, okay? Some of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight is when I think of toxic masculinity, I think of domineering. A person who's dominant and who's domineering women and children. Automatically, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Secondly, somebody who's controlling. Number 3, someone who is unemotional, domineering, controlling, unemotional. I think about someone who has, there he is. Hold on. There. Okay. And hello, Bruce.
What's going on, Cheryl? How you been?
I'm doing good. Did you hear the beginning of the show?
No, I wasn't able to. Just hopped on here. Had a little
Just hopped
delay on
on.
my
Okay.
end.
Okay, so I'll tell you of what I just said, because I think this is how we're going to start the conversation off. And I do want to tell you, Mr. Lou said, hey, Bruce.
How you been?
ASMR. Okay, so let me do my intro, then I'll go back and read ASMR's comment. But what I said, when I think of toxic masculinity, which there is a thing called healthy masculinity as well. So like I said too, this space, we love men, our men over here. I have thousands of men subscribers. I want this to be a place where where it's fair, but we want to have an adult conversation about the toxic masculinity and beyond. So what I said, when I think of toxic masculinity, I think of somebody who's domineering, someone who's controlling, someone who's unemotional, and someone who can be a brute and a bully. When I think of toxic masculinity, those are the things that come into play with me. We are waiting for Omni too, my son, and he's not hit the link yet. But yeah, those are just some of the things that I'm thinking about when I think of that.
Quick
So
question.
what do you think about that?
Do you feel women can have those traits?
Yeah, but we're not talking about women.
Ah. Okay.
Hey, Monique. We can talk about women later. I mean, if you want to bring women into it, it's wherever you want to, what I mean. But we want to just deal with that part first, the toxic masculinity, and how, in my opinion, it takes away from the quality of our lives as women. Because nobody here, I hope everybody understands and knows what's going on in our culture. Men and women are fighting each other every day.
Break it down for them.
All right, men and women. Okay, so you have the LGBTQ community, and you have the women's groups, right? And they've been having their agenda for years. But I do want to say, I want to make it plain that I don't have anything against the LB. Y'all already know that I'm gay friendly over here. So I've not attached myself to any group, because y'all know I don't do groups, right? So this is not an anti-man platform. But I believe in holding people accountable. Let me bring Omni up.
Go for it.
Hello.
All right. Peace and blessings, love and light. Ashe.
Ashe. So so let me just bring you up to speed where we are, Omni. All right. So I said, when I think of toxic masculinity, there are some words that come to play in my mind. Somebody who's domineering, controlling, unemotional is where I want to really focus in on. Someone who can destroy your mentality, a brute and a bully. Those are some of the things that come to my mind when I think of it. And that's what I was just telling Bruce. I also was saying to Bruce that in our society, that men and women are fighting each other really bad. Like it's just a fight. Like traditionally, long time ago, men and women worked together for the common good of having a family and growing economically and being solid people in the community, just like as a people to push our people in our country further. Used to be that, but now with social media, men and women are against each other. So that's what I said as of yet, Omni.
Yeah,
I want to read two comments and then y'all can jump right on in wherever you want to jump in at.
Let's do this.
Um,
all right,
uh,
greetings, love and light.
okay, so
All right.
ASMR says, I think of someone who thinks the more women they get, the more a man they are. Ooh,
Fake news. Fake news. Fake news.
well, that's very, if a man thinks that way, if ASMR thinks that knows a man that thinks that way, that is complete toxic masculinity. And then one more, toxic masculinity is the high absentee father rates we see going on. And absolutely, ASMR, absolutely. So Bruce,
Mhm.
going back to you, and then Omni, you could jump in there right after Bruce. um, what do you have to say about the controlling, unemotional, and the brute and the bully as the toxic masculinity?
As a man, I'm gonna say like this. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if that's who a man is, then that's who he is. Why is he in your circle if he's like that? That's my first question. And then whoever wants to answer that, feel free to leave the comments below, man. Because if a man has that, he may have had, he may not have had both of his parents in his life, or may not have had good examples of a father figure, mother figure in his life. So you look at the average man these days, if he has too much of that in his system, I mean, don't think you can come in that man's life and change him. He has to want to change himself. And there's a lot of men, a lot of people like that, I should say, who don't see nothing wrong with it. And when he or she don't see something wrong with it, there's no need for that man to be in your circle because he's not going to change for you. He has to want to change for himself. So that I mean,
So
and trust me,
what do
there's
you
plenty-
think? What do
what
you think is the cause of a man having those traits that I just what's causing that?
what's causing it is the main ingredients for what causes mental health issues, and it's childhood trauma. Because a lot of the damage that's been done to a man like that has never gotten fully repaired. And if it has gotten repaired, when I say the damage has already been done, it's like it's been repaired possibly from the outside, the way he talks, the way he dresses, the way he may act sometimes, but his thinking process or his hard emotions haven't completely followed through with what his mind's trying to tell him. He may want to change about himself, and I mean that's just honest. But it's just like, hey, if a man doesn't see anything wrong with it, or no one's holding him accountable enough to make him want to make any changes, eventually it's gonna, depending on how long he's had it in his system, it's gonna spread throughout his system, and that's who he's gonna be. If you want to let a man like that in your life, in your circle, then I mean you can't blame him for being like that. Only blame yourself for letting him in. It's like, okay, knock, knock, knock. Don't mean who's there. Okay, come in. That's not what that means.
Omni, I certainly want to respond to that, Bruce. Omni, would you want to jump in there, or you want me to go ahead and respond to what Bruce said? Could you come on in here with us?
Oh yeah, yeah. Love and light to the panel, to everybody that's in the building. Salute, peace and black power. I see. Um, so what's the question?
The question is, I said, when I think of toxic masculinity, I think of someone who's controlling, someone who's unemotional, someone who is a brute and a bully to women and children.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I would say that toxic masculinity does exist. But just because a man is being a man doesn't make him toxic as well. You know, I feel like what separates a man and a woman biologically is testosterone and estrogen. And so men produce more testosterone, which gives them more, masculine characteristics. And females produce more estrogen, which gives them more feminine characteristics. And so I don't believe in trying to like change the nature of a thing. Like the best thing to do is to go at an approach of understanding the nature, of a thing. And so
Okay. Well, thank you very much. It seems like both of you guys to me. Listen, ladies, I am looking for another female who would want to come up on the panel with me. I would say this. I really feel like that women can do anything, women power forever. Thank you, Christopher. I wanted you guys to deal with the climate of this toxic. When you think of the word toxic, when I think of toxic, I think of something that needs to be put in the trash, something that needs to go, not even something that needs to be managed, but something that needs to be destroyed, something that needs to be discarded and put away. Toxic.
it
So I
means it
said,
means poisonous, like
yes. So
harmful.
I said controlling. Let's just break it down. What does it mean for a masculine man to be controlling? What does that look like? What does it look like for a man to be controlling? So,
I mean,
so it.
some women, what's crazy is some women look for that in a man because some women don't completely. I say that word completely. Go grab a dictionary, look up what completely means. Completely know who she is as a woman, and
No, I don't
sometimes
think
she's
we
used to
need
that.
to. I don't think we need to grab a dictionary to know what completely means.
No, well, some people not. I say that, Cheryl, because some people miss when I say that. They think I'm talking about the entire. No, I'm saying completely. She knows who she is. Out of 100%, she probably knows who she is about 40, 50, or 60%. But I mean, as a whole, some women who do not know who she is as a complete woman will look for that in a man, and
Now,
we
see,
always wondering
this is
why.
a this is the thing, Bruce. Because this is the thing. This is the second comment that you made, and I feel like what you're doing is you're blaming the woman.
No, I'm not blaming.
Yeah, that's what. Because you actually use the word blame in your first statement that you made. If a woman is dealing with a toxic man, this is her fault. So that's blaming.
If you want to say
But
that,
that's
but
not what we. That's not.
I'm
Um,
saying that because I said before I finished though was the point that for a man who's like that, he is controlling. He is again. Sometimes that's all a man may know by how he was raised. He didn't, again, he didn't get out of his system enough. But again, why is that man on the radar? Well, because and I say it's the energy more than anything else. I believe it's the energy that a man may have, and why whether he's like that to a kid, to a woman, to his family. Sometimes I feel it's the energy of the other party that also will draw a man to that. Doesn't matter,
Yeah,
whether
that's not. But that's not what I'm asking.
then what is
I
it? What
don't.
is it?
Mr. Lou said I don't feel that way. Cheryl Bruce just giving his input. Mr. Lou said,
They're
and
not.
SMR said that's not what Cheryl is asking. Right. So let me
So
go back. Let me go back again.
go ahead.
In today's climate, again, there is a lot of toxic masculinity. Right.
Okay.
That's the fact. Okay. So toxic masculinity looks like one of the things that happens when a man is toxic and with his masculinity is that he's automatically controlling. That's a fact. He's controlling.
Yeah.
He's that way toward the woman and the child. He's also very much unemotional, meaning that he has low to none emotional intelligence. Now let me just say, let me just use for the example, let's get everybody into the conversation. We're gonna use Joe Jackson. We're gonna use Michael Jackson's father.
Okay. Good example.
Okay, because everybody knows him. Okay,
Mhm.
everybody know him.
Yeah.
Now he was controlling. Yes.
He was. That there is, I believe, within his gene or within his own childhood trauma of, like I said, damage done that never got fully repaired or never even got looked at as an issue in his case. I
Okay.
mean, he is definitely a hands down a toxic man. I don't know if he's still the same way to this day
No,
or
I think
what.
he's dead.
That's something, well, before he passed. You know what I mean? Before he passed, I don't
Yeah.
know if he was still that way before he passed. Is what I meant.
Yeah.
So it's
Um.
like people like that. They again, it goes back to childhood trauma, and he would look around, probably see people like that around him.
But what
He,
I'm saying, this was what I'm saying. Tonight, the highlight is on that, and that's what this looks like. So just in case there is someone around and they know or notice all these different kind of behaviors in a man, I want them to know when they leave the live tonight that that is unhealthy and it's terrible, and they need to flee from the situation or trying to find some type of resolve. So Joe, he was controlling, right? He was unemotional, meaning he had no emotional intelligence because of the way that it was alleged he beat his children, and it was alleged there was predatory dealings with his daughter.
which one?
Several of them.
Yeah, I ain't never heard of that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Also we can say that he absolutely was a brute,
he
and he
was.
absolutely was a bully. Um, um, Omni, Missy Lou put your link down in the chat.
Okay, yes. It's the nature God.
No, she already put it down there.
Okay, I'm gonna just say it verbally for anybody listening. It's the nature God, Omni, Amen Ashe, 2126. That's spelled TheNatureGodAMuniAse 2126. Make sure y'all share, subscribe,
Bruce, you want
and check it out. It's some good content on the page. Pretty much is education based content, historical, literacy and scientific literacy for indigenous people. So that's what it's about.
Bruce, you want to share your information?
I don't have my link with me or anything at the moment, but I mean my station here on YouTube is Chaos Conversation, where we talk about relationships, and we also do mention mental health issues in relationships. You know, because we finally realize how big of a factor that is in any relationship or partnership or friendship that one has. So, but you can also find us here on YouTube at Chaos Conversation. You may have to look through a few links because we're not the. I just noticed that we're not the biggest show on there that carries that name. But we've been around for 6 years doing that, and yeah, it's definitely what life is about, man. Trying to trying to show the world, man, everything they probably weren't taught in school.
Okay. All
Uh,
right. So some people say that toxic masculinity is a stereotype, but that's not how I see it, because I've seen my personal observation. I've seen too much of it. Um, I want to say this: men, a lot of men, not all men, lots of them, through the pages of time, were the aggressors of women throughout history. And one of the we titled that under misogyny.
Hmm.
hey,
Misogyny.
hey, hold on 1 second. Um, have you ever heard of my man King Leopold of Belgium?
No.
Yeah, he was ordered by Queen Elizabeth I to go and pretty much commit like mass genocide in the Congo, and they stole ivory. They was down there trying to get like pretty much get natural resources, and
Mm.
like it was a bigger mass genocide than Hitler, but they don't teach it in the schools. But anyway, even though the catastrophic event happened, like the event it happened because of Queen Elizabeth I technically. She the one put the hit on, you know what I'm saying? She put the bid in like for that to happen. So I'm just saying, not saying that that's for all women, but there was a woman that, she had a malicious intent. And a lot of people unfortunately, they died.
Okay, this is the thing about you guys. You guys will not deal with the toxic masculinity. You
I'll
guys
say,
keep on. No, listen. I'm listening
I
to
get your
you.
point. I get your point. I just want to say this real quick.
You guys keep on putting it on women. We're not talking about women right now.
Okay, fine.
But I mean, that's
I will say this though.
historical.
Some
That's
of
I
a
these toxic
understand
historical
that
men,
it's
reference.
historical, but you guys, the topic is toxic. ASMR says, she said, the topic is toxic masculinity. That is the topic. And
okay.
y'all keep on
Well,
throwing
hey,
it
well,
on
Cheryl, I'll
women. You
say it
can't
like
do
this, man.
that.
Some of these toxic men you are talking about that are well known. One
Well,
thing I will say
we're
that's
not
funny
talking
though is
about because y'all are not talking about them.
one thing. Well, I'm getting ready to. One thing I will say, look at the kids they have, and look how some of their kids are some of the best at what they did.
No, that's not what we're talking about. Nope.
No, but I'm saying the men. I'm saying the men that you're saying are toxic and
We're not
controlling.
doing that, Bruce.
That's what I. Hey, here's the
No,
It
thing.
is true
no.
though.
We're not
You
looking
said
at
It
the
is true
silver. We're
technically.
not
no. Hey,
looking at
Cheryl,
no
hit me up for 1
silver
second. Hit me.
lining.
You said about the man, right? Yeah, you said about the man, right? All
Toxic
I'm saying
masculinity.
is, yeah, all I'm saying is some men, not all of them, but some men who were like that, or probably still are like that, they don't just have issues or bad vibes or bad energy that they're bringing. They may bring that in life in general. How they got that way, again, it normally started in childhood, but they do bring a tad bit of of um, of good. It just depends on how the other parties, regardless of who they are, how they're going to take it. If a man is toxic, that's the only way if that's the only way he knows how to be. I mean, what do you want him to do?
Okay, so listen, I wanted one of the other women to come up, but what's happening in my chat down here, ASMR and Sierra and everybody else that's here, somebody have put 152. See, this is the thing about me and my streaming on YouTube. It is so annoying. Like, y'all do not understand how annoyed I be because they put 151 people down here that's trying to come up to make sure that I don't have a decent panel. So I can't hit this button to allow anybody up here because that's full fuckery, 1000%. It's just them sabotaging my ability to stream and to be a fantastic content creator on YouTube. And I go through this all the time. It's so annoying. So I can't even let nobody else up here because there's 150 people that's trying to get up here. And of course, it's really not. That's somebody took their computer and been ass wiping for no reason. But anyway.
But
Oh
you hear what I was
man.
saying as far as men
Yes,
who are like that?
ASMR is 150 people right here. That is terrible because you're not going to convince me 150 people want to get up here with us. There's no way. That's just somebody that just wants to sabotage our panel. Just cause. It's terrible. But getting back to what I said.
But I'll say men who are like that.
Well, I feel like you and Omni could be part of the problem because I'm sitting here. Hey, Daisy,
you hear what
how
I
you
said
doing?
though?
I'm sitting here trying to get you guys to be leaders and to say to the controlling, unemotional, brute, and the bully man that's being destroying the woman and the child to stop it. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to say.
Again,
But
finish.
you
Okay,
guys
did you hear what I said at first? Did you hear what I said at first? I
Mm.
said he needs to see something wrong with it, and he has to want to do something about it. It doesn't matter what. Matter of fact, it
You're
don't matter.
not holding them accountable though. Why is that?
I said he has to know he has it though. He has to know he has it, and I'm sure he does. But once he decides, okay, he has it, and okay, because I've seen a lot of men who they're gonna run around and say, well, that's who I am. I'm like, they don't see again, I know guys like that personally who are like that. They see nothing wrong with it. They haven't in order for a man to change or start to even go to like therapy or counseling, there has to be something or someone in his life that's going to make him want to change other than himself. I'll give you one example. Here's a guy who was somewhat like that, not completely anymore, but the great Mike Tyson. He was somewhat like that, but not completely. Was he a bit controlling? Yeah, but I mean, we all look at his background, but he had to want to help himself. And we look at him now and like, you know, but then there's one example right there.
Hey, 1 second, like, if I can interject, I believe that, like, you know, from a scientific standpoint, like testosterone is like a steroid hormone that influences men, males, boys to be like, you know, assertive, aggressive. You know, it helps to build muscle, you know what I'm saying? So you can grow a beard, mustache, different stuff that it does. But I mean, technically, you know what I'm saying? It's hormonal, like it's biochemical. You feel me? Like if you lower a man's testosterone, he's going to be less aggressive. He's going to be less assertive.
But I'm not talking about testosterone. I'm
But I
talking
mean,
about abuse. I'm
testosterone
talking
is a,
about abuse.
I understand, but I'm just saying from a scientific standpoint, is a part of what makes a man a man. So
Abuse?
no, the biochemistry of men, you know what I'm saying? Like the hormones producing testosterone and having the effect of aggressiveness and assertiveness. It may come off as I guess toxic, but hey, it might just be a part of the nature of a man.
He's speaking of the ground root of what makes some men too toxic is what he's talking about. The ground root of what can make a man too toxic, growing up or living around it, being around it, is what he's talking about.
Okay, so let me read this Omni, because so ASMR says, okay, so that's a good point. She said Bruce is saying a toxic man will have to encounter someone who will make him want to change enough,
Not
make
really,
him want
not really want to.
counseling.
I
Or
mean, so the reason why I was using Mike Tyson was because he used to be pretty toxic when he was like, you know, 20, 30, 40s. But what I see about someone or something has to mean a lot to him to want to make himself change is when he lost his daughter. After he lost his daughter, he just realized time their life was short, and it was a huge factor. I'm not sure if it was the exact reason, but it was a huge factor of what made him, you know, have a huge change in life.
hey agent, hey Dolitha, hey agent girl.
But he was
Agent
pretty.
is in the building. Hold on,
He
y'all.
go ahead. He was pretty toxic at one time.
Okay. All right. So thank y'all. First of all, Omni and Bruce, thank y'all so much for being a part of the conversation tonight. Thank you so much. I would love to have I mean, like I said, there's 150 people here, and it's not, because if I tap that button, it's no telling what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I hate that, because I did want like 2 or 3 more people up here so we could talk some more. SMR said, but if it was the testosterone, couldn't we argue estrogen makes women abusers in a way? We don't see that.
It's with women it's different because it's like it's a moody thing. Like it deals with mood. Estrogen deals with mood, like moodiness, mood swings.
But why do you? I mean, you're sitting here wanting us to hold men like me. I don't feel I'm toxic or controller one bit. I mean, so it's not in me like that. But do I have enough masculinity in me? Yeah. It's just a matter of men who are like that. I feel more men should go ahead and do like I do. When you hear from more than one party that you're toxic, or you have some of the ingredients of what it takes to be toxic, I feel a lot of men should want to either find a book to read, find some therapy, find some assistance. But you have to see something wrong with yourself and know there's something wrong with you in those areas. And whenever you know, like me, when I knew there was something wrong with me, I caught it at a very early age where I was able to get counseling, therapy, help, and coaching for free because of the age I was. And I went to the elders for that. But when you sitting here and you don't know, you're not even fully aware that you have it, it's going to be pretty hard for you as a man to say you want to do anything about it, because a lot of people are going to go back to what we all say. Why try to fix something that's not broke? Well, to him, it's not broke, but to others,
Right.
yeah, to others, it may not be broke, but they can hear enough of they can hear enough of it on its way to to what I call catching some hell.
Okay, let me
Yeah.
read Agent's comment. She said, and she is so helpful on the morning live. She said women can have levels of testosterone too.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. That's true.
she says stress related and estrogen levels drop with age.
Now, see,
That's true.
we ain't bringing the women in, man. They are. This is correct.
Oh no, you did too, sir.
Now I said
You did
again,
too.
and I've stopped. In case you haven't caught on, I stopped. So your audience, I done stopped. See, you ain't heard me say anything about women just yet. So your audience brought up women twice now.
All right. Missy,
Hey,
ASMR,
1 second. That affects men too, by the way. That's,
estrogen.
now, as men get older, the testosterone levels go down.
Okay, Rose says, technically both men and women both have hormones, hence everyone having masculine and feminine energy. Yeah, I know
Hmm.
that's the truth. All
That's
right,
true.
so let me tap on this 150 ASMR and see if I can find you. Listen, guys, if something happens and the stream goes down, just know that's what. Okay, because I'm gonna try to bring up ASMR. I'm gonna try. Oh my God, I don't. It says private chat.
Hmm.
Um, ASMR, did you hit the link? Can you hit the link for me, please? Because I don't know what that is. When I hit that 150, it said private chat.
Hmm.
Are you still here? ASMR, are you still here?
Somebody up there saying all type of crazy stuff.
Where?
They calling us the N word.
Lord.
Where? I don't see that. Why I don't see it?
I can see it. I can see it on the
What happened to Omni?
I don't know.
He'll be
Uh,
back. He just got to hit the link. Okay. Guess one. Oh my God. I hope this is her. Let me try.
I will say one thing else though. For a lot of men who are toxic, is I don't know what. If he keeps surrounding himself by what I call the negative energy,
ASMR, is that you?
oh, it
Can you
doesn't
hear
matter.
me?
That toxic energy is at his
Yes, I
house,
can hear you.
at his
Okay.
workplace, or his friends. He's going to get worse if he keeps letting that negative energy around him, and he's already toxic as hell.
Yes. Okay. ASMR.
Yes.
Hey.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So what do
And
you
look,
know about this?
I can see the chat too, so this is perfect. Everything's working.
Okay, good. So what do you know about this toxic energy?
Yeah, so I think you said some great things. I definitely think it is that bullying mentality. I think I've seen a lot of men, a lot of clients present with, narcissistic traits. You've definitely covered that. I think in my personal life, I've seen guys who it's neglecting their emotions. I think a lot of people have seen that probably in the comments. And, Bruce, you've probably seen that too, right? Like they're not going to cry. They're going to tough it out. They don't have emotions.
I think that's the worst part to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean I put this in the comments, but I really can't stand the guys who think that like being a man is just sexualizing everything and anything, and getting women, and that makes them more of a man. Like, I think that is so, because I think, in my opinion, being a true man, or being a healthy man, being a real man, really has nothing to do with I don't want to say nothing to do with sexuality, but it has very little to do with like having game, getting girls. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's the toxic masculinity. That's a part of the culture. That's
yeah,
a culture thing. That's all over social media, everywhere.
a lot of
Um,
a lot of
oh,
what she's talking about, it comes from a lot of men who, again, he may not grow up with a father or a father figure. So what does he do? He will turn to TV, social media nowadays. He'll turn to, anything around him that's showing him. Again, he may not know himself either, which most toxic men don't. So he'll turn to what's going on around him or on TV and pick up on what makes him feel good. I'm gonna say it like that.
hmm,
And a lot of times, what he sees in the movie, oh, okay, well, everybody's trying to dress like her, trying to carry this bag. Everybody's trying,
okay,
okay,
put it
well,
back in.
let me act like the guy that this actress on the movie is responding to, and let me try to be like him. But here like what's a good movie? I don't know. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That dude was toxic in the movie, and some guys are like, all right, well,
right,
I want a house like that. I want a woman like that who was going to submit to me. But they're looking at how toxic he was and
mm,
his example in the movie, even though that's acting. And they'll
mm,
look at that and they're like, well, I want to live like that. I want a woman who's going to bow down to me like she is to him. I'm like, dude, it's almost like a child picking up all the bad habits you ain't supposed to.
mm.
And a lot of men, there's no father figure, there's no grandparent, no uncle, no nobody, no male figure to give them an example. So they just go by what they see.
Um, so Ro is saying, I'm gonna ask you this, Bruce, and Omni is on his way back because he just
Okay.
came in. He needed me to
Hey,
redrop the
Missy.
link. um, Ro is saying, Cheryl, she's saying, uh, how can we get rid of it in our communities from the man's perspective, Bruce? Can we get rid of the toxic masculinity?
Oof.
That's going to be very difficult to do. I seriously doubt you'll be able to. Um, to
I
me,
What?
got
it's,
a thought. I got a thought on that.
I
Me
mean, to me,
too.
it's you're going to have to find out what means something to that man that's going to want to make him make some changes. But again, he has to want to make the changes for himself. The best thing is bringing things around him that means something to him that's going to make him want to make some moves. And if you say when they say in the neighborhood or what she say, the neighborhood, the what,
Community.
the community. When she said in the community, you have to bring guys around him or people around him that he respects. And that's why I've always said respect is the biggest factor in any partnership, relationship, um, or marriage, because it's once you bring someone around him that he respects, okay, he probably would give that person or whoever it is his undivided attention to make some, at least make the first step to,
Well, my answer is sort of like yours, Bruce, but I'm gonna say it like this:
Mm,
when real men that don't give a damn about what other men think, they take the leadership over them, and they tell them, "No, you're wrong, and this is who and what you need to do and how you need to be, and that shit ain't cute. It's not okay. Don't laugh at them at the barbershop. Don't laugh at them on the
right,
backyard in the deck. Don't laugh at them at the cookout.
right.
Don't laugh at them when they're riding around the car with you.
Mm,
No, straighten them out. When men
yep.
hold other men accountable, that's when it's gonna change.
Amen.
But
well,
when
it
they
goes
don't do that and they laugh at it like it's funny because it's not funny.
it
Yeah.
goes back to someone they're going to
Amen.
respect, though, because I mean, to me, you have to earn my respect. You won't just get it because of a title that you have. You have to earn it. I have to be able to respect you. So I mean, when you
No,
have
it's to me, it's not about respect, it's about courage. Because a lot of men, like I said, they so busy listening to with the foolishness when old boy, when he come up, he like, look, I got one on the south side, I got one on the north side, I got a black one over there, I got a white one over there, I even got a Chinese. And then all the guys be like, yeah, man, because I know men. They think it's funny, and that's why they do it. I'm serious. But
Yeah,
if there were 5 men in the room and they knew that they come in there talking like that, then they would straighten them out. They wouldn't do it.
I mean, me, there's guys like that, Cheryl, that I've talked to in chat over the phone, and all I do is hear them out and give them a story, give them a definition of what I would have done, but I don't try to change them because some of these men are just, like random guys I meet, in these group chats, single group chats, and things like that. They may see me on my show and have a quick conversation with me, and I want to invite them to the show, and they think I'm trying to, I'm intimidated by them. I do. No, I just don't want that negative energy you have coming on here right now, man. Especially with the last conversation we had. So, but I mean, men like that who I've talked to in the past, some have been my age, some have been older, some have been younger, and it's like, hey, if he ain't trying to hear me out, I've learned that the time is the most valuable thing. So I'm like, you know what? Next, next, next.
So, Omni, I don't know if you heard. Thank you, Bruce. I don't know if you heard or not, but how do how would you help change that in the community? Toxic masculinity. How
Uh,
could we help change that?
so I mean, my stance on it, like, if there's a toxic masculinity, then I believe there's also a toxic femininity. Um,
No.
and
We can't
so
do that.
I mean, because I mean, it exists. You know what I'm saying? In my personal life experience, it's other people that I've seen. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, not to try to play the victim or none of that, but I believe that it's culture. You know what I'm saying? Like the culture, like it shapes your mind, like what you like, what you accept, what you believe in. What goes and what doesn't go. You know what I'm saying? And so I believe in the African spiritual system of Ma'at, of balance, and that we work together as a team, and that the universe is based on, the forces working together. It's like with the battery. You got the negative charge, you got the positive charge.
I
You know what
understand
I'm
that, but
saying?
what I'm saying is,
Why do we keep coming back to the femininity though? If the topic is toxic masculinity,
I ain't say nothing about it.
why do we
Got it.
keep, and I made a joke about this in the chat earlier, and I know I'm new here, so I'm treading with the humor. I'm treading lightly with the humor. Hear me out. But toxic masculinity is when the topic is toxic masculinity, we keep coming back to femininity.
And so the reason why I say that is because, it's like if you ever heard of like the law of duality or yin and yang, you're like the universe is based on forces. And there's a masculine force and there's a feminine force. And the forces work together to make creation, to build creation as we know it. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't like to be a person who comes up with random individual answers or random nowhere answers. All of my answers is based on the universe and nature. And so
all right,
to make sense of it, like
no,
even though we're naming it toxic masculinity, I'm looking at it as a solution based thing. Like how do we get things on the right track? And getting things on the right track is balance between the masculine and the feminine, not just pinpointing the masculine as a negative thing.
it is negative.
I guess
But
what he's saying
It's
is
negative. It
what, what,
is negative. It is wrong.
what he's saying, Cheryl, is he's not denying that. What he's saying is it can't just all the negativity couldn't have just came from just a man. He's saying that all that negative energy that out here that a man may have when he's toxic as hell. Trust me, not all of it just comes from himself hating himself or he was
Can
living life a
can I
certain
just
way.
say something?
What he's saying is it had to have come from more than one source.
Y'all
That's
crack
what.
me up because if the topic was toxic femininity, I would sit up here for 2 hours all night talking about toxic females. I would do it all night long, baby. All night.
Hey, I'm not.
You
I'm
guys
not bringing
couldn't
that
be
for.
on. How long have we even been on here?
I'm
We
not bringing.
couldn't even be on here for 5 minutes.
Finish.
I'm not.
And it
I'm
was
not
like,
blaming her.
wait, well, if you got toxic men, why are you females bringing them men? What? What?
Yeah.
Y'all
And
don't
so,
know how y'all sound. It's
so
almost
look,
Because
like
so
what,
look,
what, what
y'all
Cheryl
not
said
holding
earlier,
Breaks
y'all
on
Cheryl,
bros
us.
what you
so
said
accountable.
look.
earlier, was this was about men, toxic men, women, and children. I heard women and children.
No.
Oh,
I
you didn't?
said that
Okay.
toxic masculinity is responsible for they are brutes and bullies toward women and children.
Yeah. And
So
that's
so
and
look.
I'm not arguing with that one bit.
So
I'm
look.
not arguing with that.
So
But
Mr. Baskin. So that's that's the illuminated mother goddess. If y'all didn't know, she the one that brought me to the universe and one of my first teachers.
On his audio. What's going on? Can y'all hear?
he just went on mute or something.
Yeah, his audio is out. Omni.
Now his camera just froze.
You back? We
We
can't
still
hear
can't
you.
hear you.
We can't hear you.
This
I don't
makes
know.
me think of when you bring back a couple, right? And they're in couples counseling, and maybe you bring back, them individually then, and you go, well, tell me what's going on, and they go, well, she's doing this, and she just won't stop, and then you're like, wow,
Yes, that's what it sounds like.
like they just pin it on the other person.
Listen.
I didn't pin it on nobody. When Cheryl brought up children and women, I went and men being so
Your
toxic
sound back?
towards them. When you say why is a man toxic towards them, I went back and said, okay, I didn't just jump to chapter 5. I looked at, okay, well, why is this toxic man even around them? He can't force himself to be around them. I know that. I've known toxic men who, well, why does he have a woman? Why is this toxic man around this woman and her baby? That's not his baby, but why is he around? I mean, you can't just start with why is he there? Why is he toxic towards the baby
Well,
and the woman? That's what I was jumping to.
right. I understand that, Bruce, but
Okay.
it's I'm sort of kind of frustrated because it seems like we can't have the conversation
Well, no, I
that
mean,
needs to be
I
had.
stayed. I stayed on. After you prove your point, I stayed on toxic men. It's just a matter of, like I said, childhood. It's a matter of him having to do something for. He has to want to do something, bringing somebody within he respects within his presence to help him make the changes, the shifts. But he has to. He
But
has to see something.
ASMR, check this out. So you
Hmm.
know how women, you know how we can be. We can really get mad at each other, right? And we can fight. But notice men will get mad and they'll fight, and then the next day they'll be best friends. I
Right.
think this is sort of like what's going on here.
Well, and you know what? That's because a lot of men, if we fight with each other, whether it's fussing, whether it's physical, what we look at it as is we look at it more as a what did we learn from
It's
it?
open.
What did we get from it
Well,
that can better us? That's more the way we look at it. We don't look at it as a loss. We look at it as not a loss, but a lesson of what can I get out of that that's going to make me better as a man.
Okay.
It
okay.
doesn't matter
Well,
if you win or lose.
I think that a couple really good points that were made. One was from Cheryl that the change is not going to be from women. It's not going to be from women keeping men accountable. Hell's going to freeze over before that ever happens. It's going to be from men holding other men accountable
Well,
about this
again,
toxicity.
you
And then
must have
the
missed
other point,
you must have missed what I said then, because I said he has the one to change himself. Did you miss that?
well, I didn't even finish.
Oh,
So there's some toxicity right there.
no, it's not. No,
Okay.
it's not. Okay, no, again, that you're jumping to what she said. Now, like, okay,
But then I was going to say, but I think you had a good point with, and I brought this up in the comments before I came up, that you had said the man has to, the man who has toxicity, I'm not going to say the toxic man, the man who has toxic traits has to encounter, the way you had said it that I put in the comments sounded to me like he's going to encounter someone, but then you phrased it later like, Mike Tyson lost his daughter. So he's going to encounter either someone or something, some sort
Mm-hmm.
of life change that
Mm-hmm.
then he's going to say, I'm done. I want to change. He's going to
Mhm.
want it hopefully enough for himself, that he's going to say, and you were given the example of maybe going to counseling. So that was,
Therapy.
yeah, was it?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, so that was another really big point. You know, if somebody has that pivotal moment in their life, that they have to be receptive, though. Again, some people, if they have that toxicity, they're not receptive.
Yeah, it's every man's upbringing is different. I don't care if you grew up in the Hollywood, you grew up in New York, you grew up, in the Nebraska area where I did. It's also it's being a toxic man in this world is always being toxic is like the third strike against you, because most men will never get the benefit of the doubt, and the fact that you're toxic as hell from childhood or wherever you're at in your life, you're always gonna get the what's it called? You're always gonna be put on the back end of what matters to you, and you're always gonna be on the back end of
Mute my.
yeah. And it's that's a strike. That's being toxic as hell is three strikes against you already. I don't care who you are.
I do like that you're trauma informed, though. I noticed that earlier when you were pretty much out the gate. As soon as you got on, you had mentioned like a trauma informed perspective that, you know, men will go through something that makes them have this toxicity often in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's,
Anything.
yes, abandonment.
A bad childhood trauma from child abuse, um, all kind of things. I had.
Absent father.
You say what?
An
Absent
absent
father.
father is a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
the time
absent
why
father.
these
Yeah.
guys are, like you said, looking to the streets or looking at the TV or the internet or their homies or their somebody
Does
else for a father figure.
anything such as TV, movies, or anyone that's in their circle? Yeah. And I mean, it's like just imagine, we see people who are physically handicapped. You know what I mean? They are sitting here and they're physically handicapped, but okay, look at people who are mentally handicapped and again don't even know it.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
And they're sitting here looking. They can't afford a doctor for it. They can't afford counseling, so they're looking for, I guess you can say, the what's that thing called? They're looking for the shortcut, or the what's that thing called, man? The air fryer. That's what they're looking for, the air fryer of how fast they can fix this issue so that they can live a peaceful life for what works for them. But again, there's no one else around them. No kids, no women, no teachers, no pastor, nobody around them. So they're trying to look for the air fryer of, okay, well, this makes me feel this way. This makes me feel like a man. This makes me feel this way. And that's why you hear me say in the past that feelings are not facts to none other than the person or thing that is having the feeling. So
Let me excuse me. I
go
wanted
ahead.
to read what Agent X said here. She said, who raised a toxic male though? Question mark. Um Women have an influence on misogyny, either mothers or females they date. Did y'all
Again,
hear that? Who
every
raised a
situation is different.
toxic male though?
Sometimes it's just the mom. Sometimes it's the streets. Sometimes it's and it,
Most of the times it's single mothers, yo.
yeah.
Single mothers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um Rose says men are more logical where we are more about feelings. I
That's right.
believe that that may be where the disconnect is with this topic. It's more of what can be proven possibly.
But I also feel like if that was the case,
Mm-hmm.
then the men in here would be like maybe upfront about, like, they would be like spitting it about the toxic masculinity. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not trying to like shade the guys in here, but there we've kind of had to call them out about, like, we're going back to toxic femininity at times, or we're going back to like talking about women at times. Um, so like if this was purely logical, we would only be talking about toxic masculinity the entire time.
Mhm.
So look, so to speak on that, it's like, in my opinion, men and women, we coexist. Like, we wouldn't exist without each other. So there is no one without the other. And so I believe it's irrelevant to pinpoint one and not address the other, because it's not going to holistically help or fix anything.
Well,
You're saying
that's
you get more than
true.
one point of view.
That's true.
I look at it
But
like a
again,
team, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody is, it's not, no one person is above the collective, you know what I'm saying? Like, the man and the woman is a duo. You feel me? If you're not working together, then what you doing?
well,
No, I hear
we're
you, but
not working together. We're not
I hear
working
you.
together.
I'm just addressing you. You had brought up a point about like a really toxic. I don't even remember who it was, but your specific point you brought up, Omni, was about a woman in power or something that had committed genocide or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a toxic female. That's not bringing people together. That was like a red herring argument about a toxic female. That wasn't bringing people together.
Right. This is, boy, I tell you, this is interesting.
I
Like,
mean,
I'm
it's
learning that, because I wouldn't have never known if we hadn't had this conversation. I'm learning that there's an issue with men owning up to that. Even the worst me, I mean, Joe Jackson, there's no one worse.
Joe Jackson.
He's the
I
picture
mean,
of everything that we're talking about. He was horrible.
and I never saw a biography or read his autobiography on, if he even has one, on who or what made him that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was his absence of his father. I don't know if he been in the military. I don't know how he became like that.
Well, obviously, there's a history. We know that he didn't just get like that. We
That's what
know
I'm saying.
that it probably more than likely goes back to the childhood, because that's how it works.
Yeah, but see,
Also, what I wanted to happen in this conversation was I needed you guys to hold men accountable for the toxic masculinity, so we can get into what's going on with the manosphere. The manosphere here in social media and in our lives over all the social media platforms is training men to fight women. That's what the manosphere is all about, is training men to fight women,
now,
to
why would
call them masculine, and to say things like, oh, well, that's why you'll never be in a relationship. It's really crazy. But I
tear 'em
don't
down.
who's
think.
being told that? Men or women?
Say what?
Who's being told that? Men or women?
Men are telling other men that.
Men are telling other men they'll never be in a
That's
relationship because of how toxic and how
no. The manosphere is teaching other men
Okay.
how to treat women terrible, and to tell them that it's their problem that they are without a man. It's their problem that the man doesn't want to be with them. It's their problem that the man is that they're masculine and they don't want them because of that reason. Like, the manosphere is a cancer
I mean,
to men and women.
so you're
But
saying that the manosphere is telling women that she's masculine? Is that what I'm hearing?
the manosphere, Bruce, I feel like you're a part of the manosphere, so I don't even know why. I
Why
don't
do
know
you
why
now,
you
now,
don't
now, now
understand.
tell me why you feel that way? I mean, because
Because you
I'm
always
trying.
blame women, like you've been doing on this show.
You say again. I did that. I tell you what. Watch this. Without doing that, show me how many comments came from me doing that before I like,
That's
okay,
not the point.
I got some attention. But you know me, I like to just strike controversy and attention, because that's what grabs the attention. You know
Agent
me.
says, I think mental and emotional maturity will influence a man's toxicity, and that has nothing to do with age. I think mental and emotional maturity will influence a man's toxicity. Of course, yes, I think
Yeah.
so too. But how is he going to get there when other men just, don't you do that? That is not cool.
Normally, you won't have men do that. I mean, we there again. I can spit my knowledge at men who I've talked to who are toxic as hell, but that doesn't mean the knowledge I spit at them, he's going to apply it. That's all I can do. All I can do is pass him the ball. I'm not responsible if he shoots it, if he throws it away out of bounds, if he just, turns it over. Once I pass him the ball of knowledge, it's up to him to do something with it, to himself or for himself. Again, we can't force it. That's what I think a lot of people try to do, though, is they think by telling the man, he's toxic, by telling him all this stuff about himself, they're just gonna all toxic men do when you pour a whole bunch of knowledge into him, not knowledge, you pour your experience of knowledge into him. A lot of times he'll take it and hold on to it. He won't do anything with it unless again he sees a need to, he wants to, he respects you, and he wants to help himself.
I was watching what is his name? Malcolm X last night for the first time.
Okay.
Movie is old as dirt, but last night I watched it for the first time in the middle of the night. Just felt like watching the movie. Once I started, I couldn't stop watching. And I watched him organize. I watched him organize Malcolm, thousands of men all over the world. I mean, just organized. And there was just something about him that the other men follow suit. We are lacking that in our society right now, big time. When it comes to men, this is the thing. I think everything has gone crazy like that, and the men are the way that they are because
they killed them. They killed them. They killed our black revolutionary leaders like Khalid Muhammad, Fred Hampton from the Black Panthers,
I didn't realize that part of
Dr.
their
Sabi.
I didn't realize that part of their thing was they did not whore around at all. Like they practice abstinence, like big time.
Who was
waiting on a wife. Those Malcolm X, and that was part of the teaching.
Yeah, I mean they were still men. I mean I'm not going to say they were perfect. You know what I'm saying? But they were men who had great contributions.
Yeah,
they
but
did.
you don't see. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying you really don't see men telling other men that it's not okay to be the way that they are. A lot now you don't
Because
see that.
somebody gonna get hurt doing that. You can't tell no another man what to do.
Because
You can't tell another man what to do.
Back in them days,
Unless you want smoke. Unless you want some smoke.
Yeah. Back in them days, though, sure, you forgot, man. Back in them days, it was like the racism that was going on then. It was like either we try to help each other or we get shot, taken advantage of, and abused as black people. Period. These days, like I said, a lot of us are spoiled because the racism is not as bad as it was back then. It's still around. It's just not as bad as it was. Where they could hit you, they could accuse you of looking at them too hard, and you get shot. It's not that hard anymore. So these days, because there's so many options, and then one thing your son was just talking about was that all the good people who were like that, they kept taking them, they kept killing them. They would find a reason to kill them, and they're like, all right, I'm not going to risk my life like that because there's no need to. And so,
are you serious?
That's another thing, huh? Malcolm said he believed he was dead.
ASMR, are you still here?
Listen,
I am.
Hey, Cheryl, go back and look at the video. Leaders like him said, "I believe I died, when I was, in prison or something like that." He believed he died, and I don't think he was like 38 or 39, and he was like, I'm a dead man already." He's like, men are not trying to do that no more. They're trying to live our life. We're trying to be fathers. We're trying to be good figures. So him putting himself, and he knew he was in danger. Some men, most men, do not want to put themselves in danger. But you're wondering where we at? Men who speak up, who do that kind of stuff that he used to do, they're not as appreciative. And these days, of course, they always want the money for it too. The money's not there for them, and so they move on to other stuff. It's not a good hobby to have these days.
But now it's politics behind that though. That's what I wanted to say. It's politics behind that, Mother Goddess. Yeah, it ain't. Yeah, it's politics.
Y'all know I don't see it like that, but let me go on a little bit further. All right.
You asked why, and I'm just giving you a couple
feel
examples.
like I think you're just lacking courage.
No, it's not that.
That's what I think.
Well, I mean, you know me. I'll speak my mind. I don't care what nobody say. But for me, it's I just chose to take it in a different way. But the way I've decided to take it is not the way the public or the people have decided to accept it. And that's, I'm not going to try to fight that. I'm not going to let it stress me out or nothing. And don't forget though, he was also part of a gang at one time. So he kind of had that, he grew, developed that mentality that most of us, we weren't part of no gang, or we weren't part of no church or no
It's
leadership.
called, yeah, it's called courage. It's called grit. It's called being a man. I think that's
So
what I
hold
think.
on, hold on 1 second. So tell me how many women, black women, however you want to say it, how many women is raising their sons from birth to be a black revolutionary out the gate? Who doing that? How many women doing that?
He wasn't raised to be a revolutionary from birth.
Now I'm saying how many women, if that's what you want to see in the future, that's what you want to see on the planet. How many women are doing that, teaching their sons from birth to be a black revolutionary out the
I
gate?
don't think it takes that from birth.
Come on, man. That's what you said you want to see. That's what you said.
That's
I'm
not what
going
I
by what
said.
you
I
said.
used Malcolm X as an example, and that's not what he. Thank you, Greg Davis. That's not what he went through. He had a whole lot of brokenness.
But then Omni, also to your point, we could challenge how many fathers are raising their sons to be black revolutionaries? Why are we just putting it on the moms?
How many fathers are
You would
doing?
say moms because
That's what I was
more
doing.
single
But
moms
that's
are
to
out here
my
than single
point. Why do
fathers.
we keep putting it on the women? Why do we keep going back and putting this on the women? Why are you just putting it on put it on the fathers?
I I didn't put that on the women.
No, I'm not putting it on the women, love. I'm just saying, and as a tribe, as a unit, as a nation, what I'm saying, as an empire of people, like it's not just on the man, it's not just on the woman, it's on the whole unit, it's on the
So
tribe.
yeah, so then the mothers and the fathers, right?
Exactly. I'm with that. I'm with that.
That's
So
fine.
let me read Rose's comment. So she says, so a question for the men on the panel. If there was not a woman available, but the man was all a man had, how could there be healing from toxic masculinity at that point?
If there was not
If
a
there was
woman
no woman to blame.
available. Oh yeah, that would be unnatural. That's not a part of the makeup of the universe. We need women. We love we love the black woman.
Well,
You know.
ASMR is not a black woman.
Okay. I mean, well, we love all women. We love all women, but
And Omni, don't get it twisted. We doing toxic femininity round 2 tomorrow night, baby. We trashing the women round 2.
uh-oh.
Come back for it, please. And I'm going in. I'm going
Yeah,
in.
Me too.
I know that's right. That's
Much
what's
love,
up.
That
Omni.
goes
I know
back, hey Cheryl,
I'm
the
coming,
answer.
but we coming for the women round 2. We coming.
The
Okay.
Now,
answer
already. Much
for
love. You
Cheryl,
already know.
it goes back to if there were a number of men here, for if that were the case, again, the man has to want to help himself. He has to have somebody he respects that's going to be willing to reach out to him and meet him halfway and set the example, share his experience with him and knowledge as well. But the man had, like I said, the man can be fed a bunch of knowledge and he can eat from the tree of knowledge, but he has to be willing to eat from the tree of knowledge. It can be fed to him all day, every day. Guess what? If he don't want to eat it, then again, you can't help the man but so much, but so far. Again, he has to do it for himself. But I seriously doubt it will ever come down to that because there's too many options out here these days. And as there's so many options, people are, like I said, they're always looking for that air fryer, for that microwavable, quick way that can make them feel good, so they can just move on in life. And if he's never going to have any feelings towards anybody or have any, what's what I'm looking for? No empathy towards others, then again, sometimes that's a habit of who he is. But again, when you have habits, you have to want to break. There was a guy. I'm just bringing up habits. I'm gonna stick to habits for 1 second. There was a actor who used to have the most hilarious laugh ever, and it was a habit of how he laughed. But he decided, hey, I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna cut this off the way I laugh. But he had to want to do it, and I'll say all that because I'm saying habits that men have. No one, I mean, knowledge is not gonna make him want to change it.
I,
So
I don't I don't
willingness.
I don't believe that.
You said what now?
I don't believe it.
I mean, I agree, but then I disagree a little bit, bro.
He has to want
Like
to.
with the port thing.
He has.
I came up with the port. I came up on it, but then I learned about it. When I learned about it, I just prefer not to have it. But I did come up on it. You know what I'm saying? But since I know about it, I prefer not to have it just because I know. You feel me? So I
Yeah,
don't
so
know, bro. Like,
yeah, that's my point. Like I feel like this topic of toxic masculinity needs to be talked about a whole lot more because there's a big divide between men and women. It's very cancerous, it's very toxic, it's a bad look, it's just horrible, and it's growing. It's really big.
I'll tell you, I think part of the healing for toxic masculinity is going to be rooted in identity. I think overall, our country, one of the plagues that our country is suffering from compared to other countries, we don't know who the frig, because I know we ain't cursing, right, Miss Cheryl? We don't
Right.
know who we are. Our country is so lost. Our identity, we don't have one. Everybody is trying to figure out so desperately who they are, and so I think that's also rooted in the toxic masculinity is a
Okay.
lot of these men. I see it in my work, I see it again in my personal life, just a lot of these men. It goes into what Bruce said about even abandonment. It's like, if that goes back to their primary caregivers, their identity is so shot, and so they don't know who they are, and so they're looking for it in all the wrong places. Maybe they're trying to fill that void. But I think trying to harness and figure out their identity, I think that's a big piece of it.
That's like the almost the ground foundation of, again, wanting to do something about it, is knowing who you are, and then also looking back and saying, all right, well, let's say a man was like that in his teens. Okay, well, he goes through school, he grows up on the streets, doesn't matter, and he keeps hearing that from his homeboys, or he keeps hearing that when he goes around to I don't know, neighborhood Walmart store. Eventually, let's say he meets someone that he wants to say, all right, well, you know what, I do want to change for this person, and then he wants to go ahead and get himself right. He wants to go ahead and get the therapy, get the counseling. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it can be too late. What I mean by too late is the therapy, the counseling, the coaching is going to help him for the time being, but he's still going to have that toxic energy somewhere within his system. It just might not be, it might not show every day, but it's still there. Because it is difficult for a man to, for anybody really, but since we're talking about men, it is difficult for you to be being toxic for like 20, 30 years. And then you meet someone when you're 35, and then you're going to go get counseling and therapy for, I don't know, a year or two, and now you're 37, and you got 30 years that you got 30 years that outweighed only that 30 years are going to always outweigh, you know, 2, 4, 5 years.
Well, see, you don't do 2, 3, or 5 years. You do it indefinitely.
Well, I know
Once
that. I'm just saying, no woman, no child, no preacher, no partner, no part. They're not going to wait that long, though. That's what I'm saying.
No, no, no. Well,
While
no.
you're getting though.
No, I'm saying that once you start introspection, you're gonna get better. You
Oh
know what I
yeah,
mean?
oh yeah.
But I'm saying that it's a journey. Beyond that for the rest of
hmm
your years.
I was
Work
again.
on.
I'll go back to Mike Tyson. He was on his way. He was working on, it, and the next thing you know, he's beating up some guy on a plane. You know, it's still in him. You know what I mean? So,
Well,
but
I
he
mean,
he he is
in
working
that
on
case
himself.
with our humanity, sometimes, you know, that's with everybody. We have our days.
Hey, like I said, it's going to remain in your system. But as long as, like you said, they keep getting the counseling, the therapy, the coaching, the help, and they still want it for themselves, then hey, it can better them. It can better them. And I mean, being that toxic toward, I mean, these days people use toxic more than they use mad towards people.
Well, at least we know now, we're toxic. You know what I mean? At least we know. It's
Yeah,
the awareness is great. That's why we're doing what we're doing tonight. That's why we're talking.
yeah. And I mean, I myself, I haven't been called that because I don't feel I am one bit.
Oh, come on, Bruce. Let's not do that.
Now, okay. Well, my thing is, once you say it to me, I'm gonna ask you for the example, and once you give me your example, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay. So, am I that? As in, like I just tried to tell you, am I doing that to strike to see what your reaction is, to strike controversy, or am I doing that because I'm totally, X, Y, Z?
Omni, are you toxic?
No, I don't feel I am.
No, I was talking to Omni.
Oh, Omni. Okay,
Hello?
it's showing you still there.
It's showing that, yeah. I don't think he can hear us though. Hello?
Page him.
So, okay, well, what do y'all
Anybody
think
can
of it?
tell.
Hmm?
Now I'll say anybody who's ever since I freed myself, like you did, Cheryl. I mean, I haven't been toxic or have any stress or depressed since then. And it all came from freeing ourselves from the way we were raised. I
Oh
mean,
God.
and like you
Mm.
I had both parents there to teach me pros and cons, do's and don'ts, rights and wrongs, and things that mattered in life. And I mean, the biggest thing I remember on both my dad's side of the family, my staff, the teachers, and my parents taught me was the world is never going to change for you. You have to want to
Mm-hmm.
either change for it, or you have to want to grow, develop, mature with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the biggest example I would see out here is like when you look at Kmart, you look at Belk, you look at all these other companies, when they don't keep up with the masses of what's going on, look what happened to them. They go out of business. And so for myself, I was like, well, before I'm not going to go out of business for myself, but before I get left in the dirt, I'm gonna go ahead and find ways to grow, develop, mature, every day in life. And that's why that's why you see me journaling all the time. You see me reading something all the time to get
Yeah.
that. Yeah, get that.
Yeah, you do. You're the most journaling person I've ever met in my life.
Hey man, this is just one of them right here.
Yeah. Bruce journals every day.
It's the best stress reliever in the world. Prove me wrong.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask, I want to make a statement. They put this in the book of a psychologist wrote this down in the book, and he said that drugs and gangs are symptoms of fake masculinity. Drugs and gangs are a symptom of fake masculinity,
Now,
not
why
just
is he saying
toxic,
fake though?
but fake. There's a such a thing as fake masculinity. It's not real. Yeah, a psychologist wrote this in his in a book, and I was like, now I've never heard the term fake masculinity. I'm like, fake?
Well, and that's why the reason why I say that is because I know a lot of businessmen right now who came from gangs, but a lot of what they learned as a gang as a leader is what they're applying towards corporate America, being the top salesman or millionaire in the field they're in now. So that's why, like, when he says fake, I'm like, well, what fake are you talking about? Because I mean, you got guys who are in gangs and their biggest, if recruiting people or recruiting other leaders to sell your drugs or carry your drugs is fake, well, how the hell is it working in the corporate America world? Because I know about four guys like that, and they were the best recruiter in New York at this block or that block, and it's like that's fake.
I
Or
guess we got to define. I'll look a little
that's why I was asking,
further.
what does he mean by fake though?
I'll look a little further and find out what is he meaning by fake masculinity. But I'll just use the way that I see it. When you see guys, perhaps they're soft, but they're pretending like they're hard, or they had a decent upbringing, but they're acting like the masculine brutes, and that's really not them at all. They're pretending, fake.
Mm.
That's what I think it could be.
It is hard to identify a fake, just like it's hard to identify, someone who has a mental health issue, but their acting is that good that they pass every time. It is kind of hard to catch. I'm not saying they don't have it because a
You've
lot.
never heard of the term like fake gangster?
Well, I mean, even I've used that in the past when I say, fake hardcore wannabe gangster thug and
What
hard.
thug? Yeah.
Yeah, and I say that because a
Right.
lot.
That's what that means.
Yeah, but again, it is hard to pick up on because I guess I can say it's hard for me because I don't surround myself to study or be around that or attract that. I guess that's why I say that. But I've known people that do, and it's like, well, that's why you heard me say earlier. Well, why is he even in your circle in the first place? Whether it's another guy, being around another guy. Well, why do you have him in your circle anyway, dude? If he's toxic as I don't know what, and I don't know, you probably just lost your father, lost a parent, or ran away from your grandparents' house because you got too bored. But why is this other toxic dude in your circle though?
Mm-hmm.
If he's faking it, you know, sometimes it's even hard to tell for a man who's joined the gang because he can't find no love at the house, and he's just going there, because it gives him peace or whatever the case may be. He can't always pick up on a fake either because he don't know what the real deal even is.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's true.
experience is the best teacher. So I'll use this as an example. If somebody has never experienced what the real deal is, and they go across to somebody, or they go, across the street, and they say there's this fake thug in Harmony. He's being peaceful. He's, might have a few jokes about something. He's okay, well, but he's a fake. But you don't even know what the real deal is. So how are you supposed to know?
Right. Right.
Yeah, and Cheryl, when you read that, the thing that came to mind for me was fake security. Drugs and gangs will bring fake security to men.
Yeah. That sounds about right to me too.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Woohoo!
Bruce, thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Hopefully, I didn't strike too much controversy, too much chaos, on your show,
Oh, you bring a little chaos now.
because it
Oh,
brings out people's true colors, like it just did hers, and that's what I love to see in people is people's true colors come out. And since I got enough color to come out of her and you, my job's been done.
We'll stick around. Next time we going in on the females.
okay, yes.
Trust me.
And we
Oh,
are
trust me.
not,
You're gonna hear me. You're
we
gonna
are
hear me
not
bring
gonna
up
hold back.
men.
We're gonna show you guys
No, no.
how it's
You're
supposed to be done.
you're gonna hear me bring up men because
Aw.
whether it's the man who was not in her life long enough to be her father, whether it was a brother figure, you'll hear me bring up men.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I don't know where Omni went, but he'll be back in the house in a minute. But I just want to thank him for being here too, because he'll probably take this live and post it on his platform. I know he will. ASMR, thank you, girl.
Thank you.
You're
Much
so welcome.
love, everyone.
Yes, we had a fantastic live. But anyway, y'all, kisses and hugs. Y'all have a good night. And I'll see y'all the next time. When we gonna do it again?
I mean, I got my show tomorrow.
Well,
Thursday sounds good.
when?
Thursday.
What about you, ASMR?
Girl, whenever you want, until the wheels fall off.
Okay. All right, we can do that. Well, we're gonna do it again Thursday night. Okay. All
Okay,
right,
I'll
y'all. Good
hop down.
night.
Much
Much
love,
love.
everyone. Thank you
Good
Peace.
so
evening.
much.
You're welcome. Good night. Bye bye. Thank you, Bruce. Bye.
No problem.
Mama, look at my acrylic nails.